I think it's important that people know the real story of why people leave, and that it's not always this superficial hogwash that you hear. But it's not always, people want to celebrate holidays or their birthdays. I would have to say, for the most part, that's not the case for people that choose to disassociate themselves. Those of us who choose to no longer be one of Jehovah's Witnesses, it's a huge step, and it's not taken lightly at all. So it's definitely not for superficial reasons and mundane things. But as I reflect back on it, I realized that it was a process I think I was going through for so many years, and I didn't even know it. Just feelings of depression and despair and loss and doubt and questioning, and always pushing it back and trying not to think about it. It was more pushing through that guilt and getting to the point where I didn't fear questioning anymore. Is when I got to that point, that's when it just all happened so fast. It just happened really fast. And it all started with my boys. I love those two boys more than anything I ever thought possible. But not until I had the two of those boys did I realize that it was the love that superseded everything for me. And as they got older and started asking me questions, religious questions, based on a lot of the doctrine and the rules that we had as Jehovah's Witnesses, of why they couldn't do things, why they couldn't participate in things, they would come to me. We had an open relationship, and we always will with our boys, where they can ask us anything. And they would come ask me these questions, and that's where it all started. And I realized that I didn't have valid answers to a lot of their questions, actually to any of their questions, because if I were to look critically and logically at things, that answers like, would Jehovah want you to do that? Or is that what a faithful servant would do? Would Jehovah appreciate that? Answers like that are not answers. I began to realize that a lot of the turmoil that I felt inside as a child came from those types of answers. From not getting a very straightforward, logical response with evidence to show me, look, these are the reasons why you're being asked to do these. They came to me with these questions because they're having these feelings at school, and they're feeling left out, and they're feeling, pressure to do things that I tell them is bad and they're not supposed to do. And they want to know why they're bad. And I'm their mother, and I should be able to give them logical answers. So I decided, well, I can't give the, just because I said so, because that's what Jehovah wants you to do. I need to give them some serious information here. So I started doing my research. I started looking up all that the society, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, all their literature and publications. I started digging through it and trying to find these answers, better answers than I received as a child, because those weren't enough for me. And it was like a flashback for me. They're going through what I went through, and I need to give them a really good foundation as to why they need to make these choices and why they need to stand up for it. Going through all this literature, and I'm going through all the scriptures, and I'm having a really difficult time finding some logical responses, answers that they deserve. Really difficult time. So after looking for so long, I expressed my concerns to my husband, and we decided, okay, let's do this together. So we researched together. Couldn't find the answers that our boys deserved, which should all have been biblically based directly, and there should be enough scriptures that are in context, speaking of the things that we're discussing, in context, that are describing why you should or should not do these things. We couldn't find it. So that was the beginning of it. But it really wasn't the turning point. So then, through an unlikely turn of events, we found out a specific piece of information about the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society that completely just ripped a hole in the fabric of everything that we believed in. We just thought, no, this can't be true. So at that point, we decided, okay, now it's time to go beyond the little box of information that we've been allowed to navigate through and to educate ourselves with, which is just documentation based on the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. We said, that's it, we're going further. And we're not gonna go looking for these apostate stories. No, what we're gonna look for is actual, biblical research and facts on the subjects that we're looking for. And we're gonna start looking at outside sources. Because if this is true, and what we've just learned about them is true, then that means that they're utter and complete hypocrites. And unfortunately, the more we found, the more upsetting it became. It just knocked me over, I guess you could say. It just blew my mind. And to the point where I was really, with all my might, hoping and praying and wishing that what I was learning was not true. And trying to feed myself it's just all a bunch of apostate lies. It's just a bunch of stories they manipulated, and it's bogus. And I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's like I'm gonna have this, awakening and realize, oh, this is a load of crap, and let's move on, continue with our lives. We need not look any further. Well, fortunately, I would wake up and that wasn't the case. It would slap me all in the face again, and it wasn't gonna go away. So the more we learned, the more we realized that we were living in a lie. And we had taught it to our boys. And we had wasted our lives on a belief that we literally, by just doing some critical thinking and research, had torn apart in a matter of weeks. Not even intentionally trying to do so, actually intentionally trying to do the opposite of proving our beliefs to in fact be true. So that was a tough spot and a tough time that we went through. It was very difficult on all of us. And once we got to a certain point and I had taken in all I could take in, and learned all that I felt at that point I could possibly learn, I had to make a decision. And I needed to stand up and not fear men. And that's when I decided that I'm going to be honest with my boys and let them know what's going on. And I'm going to offer up to them the information that I had learned. And as much as they could understand at their ages at that time, I was going to allow them to learn and allow them to mourn and to express themselves and to ask questions. And I basically started off with, your mommy lied to you. Your mommy didn't mean to lie to you, but she lied. And she's very sorry. And I started with that, and we went from there. So that's why I decided that I had to disassociate myself, because there was no, there was no back and forth or in the middle or just trying to fade away, because I knew I wouldn't be let alone, because there wasn't anything that anybody could say and point out that I hadn't already researched. At this point, I knew more about being a Jehovah's Witness and history, background, and current Jehovah's Witness data, that I knew more than I'm pretty sure 99.9% of witnesses know. And those that know more, they're probably faking it. And they do know the truth behind the truth. So I wrote my letter March 2014, and that was that. And I decided to let my boys move on, make their choices. And they, it was really tough, especially for my older boy at first. because he was older. He had been taught, the doctrine of Jehovah's Witnesses for longer, and it affected him more deeply. But I would have to say that they are so happy now. They've adjusted so well. And we've started out a new life for them so they can make brand new friends with the new baggage behind them. So I'm very happy for that. To see them enjoy life in a way that I never did is so rewarding. But that's that. There was nothing superficial about it. It was very much just trying to find answers to my questions and wanting to learn and to grow and to answer all the questions that I had since I was a child that I deserved to know and my children deserved to know. And in doing so, I educated myself in a way that I never thought I would educate myself in. And while I was a critical thinker in all other aspects of my life, I realized at that point when I started digging into my own religion that this was the one area that I was blind to, that I shut down, and I literally would not look at it in the face. All those feelings that were buried inside of me, buried by guilt. It was the one thing that I just blocked off and refused to think critically about. And I could not be happier that I made that choice. Because I'm in a place today that I've never been in before in my life. Being able to enjoy things for what they are, the beauty in the world for what it is. Not everything is doom and gloom and Armageddon's around the corner. Life is beautiful, and my boys are beautiful, and my husband is beautiful, and our lives together are so enjoyable. And focusing on yourself and your hobbies and the things that you love and make life so enjoyable, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And it truly does make life enjoyable when you focus on the things that you're good at naturally and you pursue those things. And you push your children to pursue those things for themselves, and not let them give up and, not tell them, oh, just rely on Jehovah, or, oh, you can do that in the new system. But no, you can do that now. You can grab hold of your life and you can take charge of your life. And you can enjoy every single moment of it. That is something to be incredibly grateful for. I did try with all my might. I tried with all my might to, make every meeting and to go out and service more, and to pray more and to study more. But every time I did, there were always things in the back of my mind that would make me think too much, and it would shut me down. When I started to do those things, something would tell me there's something wrong with this and you're not happy. This isn't making you happy. And why are you not happy? If you're making God happy by doing these things, why are you not happy doing these things? And if you pray to God to help, give you these answers as to why you're so sad and you can't quite figure out and, put your finger on what it is that's making you so sad, making life not enjoyable, and you don't get those answers, then I think maybe that's when you have to take it into your own hands. Just like, when I say, prayer, you have to work with your prayers. My prayers were, I need to know more. I need my questions answered. And I worked with that and I pursued it. So that's where I'm at today. And I'll just leave it at that.